the main change is the setting up those rails to get the values aligned, like looking at already occurring natural behavior and steering it a little bit. We've seen the range of behavior. We know that people love to promote and they love to talk about things. So how do we take that social behavior and reward it? And that's like curation is real work that happens in the world, but it's very rarely called out and appreciated. Having run an art and tech festival for more than 10 years, like our curators, like they're part of the team and, we highlight them and everything, but there needs to be more of that. Like, just because a curator was involved in something doesn't mean that they're necessarily like monetarily benefiting from it as much as they could. So there's that. Sorry, I've got it. There we go. Alarm.
No
So the social aspect is really just that alignment, looking at the social like behaviors and making sure that there's a way for those naturally occurring things to be constructive versus not. And I think that actually plays a lot into looking at like AI and how humans socially fit in with AI and how the nature of work is changing and all of those things, because we have to find new ways of capturing value. And that's largely like zooming out. What we're trying to solve is like, how do we capture value in new ways? If there's no work for anybody to do anymore because all the jobs are done by robots, what do we have to do anymore? Tell stories to each other? Maybe it could be like one thing, or like authentic human connection. And then how do we measure and reward human connection and influence and things like that? So in some ways, a lot of this seems frivolous and trivial, and people are like, oh, it's, just a creative collectible thing. But at the same time, I think that we're tackling a lot of the issues that are going to be very topical in very short time.
Yeah, I've done a lot of this research for my own software that I build and share. So the AI that's out there isn't curated, it's just by volume. So if there was a terrible meme that everyone shared, then the AI would recommend that as the solution to whatever question you put into ChatGPT. And so the volume is, by definition, kind of like the worst of human habits, right? So you're talking about a curated AI where it's upvoting and recommending things that are, first of all, true, and then second of all, that the community feels is rewarding each other.
Yep.
Is that what you're talking about, or you're talking about something else?
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and having that be traceable in some way so that the value can be there and the attribution can be there. Because without that kind of layer in place, then why would people be incentivized to participate in that kind of system?
Yeah, I mean, with all the scrolling and sharing that everyone does, it feels so mindless. But then in the end, only the platform wins, right? So
Yeah.
And then the platforms change their algos all the time. So you're talking about a rev share back to the people who are artists, but also the people who are marketers on both sides.